Hey guys, Austin here, and oh my goodness, it's Nürburgring week, so let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are on the Nürburgring. This was my best lap from a stint that I did. I think the stints are going to last around 12, 13 laps this week with a 60-liter tank of fuel, about a half an hour. It's a very long track, so not many laps during the race, but we'll take you through one right now. So here we go. First thing you're going to want to watch out for is you want to get all the way to the left and brake just before the 100 board. Just really get on the brakes as hard as you can. Stay to the left, but as you get into first gear, start to rotate the car to the right to the apex and power out as early as you can. There's a lot of room over here. You can take it all the way to the curb like I did there on the left. So you don't want to bring it too far out to the right. Let me pause this here. You don't want to come out too far in this area because it's kind of redundant in the way the track is laid out. So just kind of get in the middle to set yourself up for the next corner, and you can kind of just trail brake to try and get on this curb on the inside on the left. And as you get on this curb, if you hit it just like I did, you're going to want to power out as quickly as possible and put two right wheels on the outside, this AstroTurf right here, and of course keep your two left wheels on the inside on the tarmac so you do not get a 1X. But you want to be all the way out here to set yourself up with the best angle to attack this next corner. So start trail braking into it. You want to bring it down to first gear, and you can get your left two tires all the way over on that asphalt on the left. So this is kind of a tricky section, so I want to talk about this a little bit more. As you come in here, I took this both ways, in second gear and in first gear. In first gear, it's definitely easier than second, but second might give you more minimum speed through the corner, so it just depends on your preference what you want to do. But bottom line is you want to trail brake in here because you can kind of spin the car if you get on the brakes too hard. So you can see my brake input down here. I never really like to get past halfway, so I kind of just start bleeding off of it and using it as I need. So I'm just barely on the throttle. If you get down to first gear, you're going to want to do that, and then take all of this AstroTurf on the right, or the cobblestone, whatever, and take all of this AstroTurf on the exit. Let's run that through one more time. So again, you're gonna want to clobber this curb here and get on the gas and straighten the car out over this AstroTurf. That's not a 1X. You want to stay definitely more right of this AstroTurf because that seems to be more of a 1X guarantee if you go too far out on this area. So let's go ahead and just watch that in real time because there's a lot to talk about here. But again, you're going to want to maximize the amount of track that you use, the amount of off track that you use, rather, throughout this entire section to get your car through as quickly as possible. So let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so it's all about being patient and just making sure your car is in good position. So for the next corner, I like to go into it in fourth, and as I clip the apex, I like to get into third gear. I just like how that feels with the rotation of the car. And you're going to want to start braking a little earlier than most people anticipate. So watch my braking input here. I kind of brake equal to this this curbing on the right where it starts, and get more to the center of the track because you want to give yourself a good angle, but you don't need to sacrifice your line through this corner here to get all the way to the left side of the next corner. You kind of want to compromise and get in the middle here and attack this corner in that way. So you can hit this curb on the right, the apex, and power all the way out and use all the AstroTurf on the left side here. And that is a pretty good run through that corner. So we're gonna fast forward to the next corner. So what I've been doing is I am getting my left two wheels on the AstroTurf on the left. And for this lap, I didn't do it as well as I wanted to, but I brake pretty hard on the AstroTurf, and I like to stay more outside to really give myself a much squarer angle coming out of this corner. I kind of stayed inside and maybe lost a tenth or two. But you know, if you're racing and there are cars behind you, you're going to want to take a more defensive line because they like to lunge here. But if there's no one around you, or if they're more than a second back or something, you want to really take this more square than I do here. But it's the same braking zone. You kind of just turn in a little bit later than I did here. So yeah, you get up on this this AstroTurf, or this curbing, I guess, on the left. You get it down to second gear and just work the brakes and try and get that car to bite on the very last part of this apex, very late apex, so you can attack this curb here on the exit. Just get up on this AstroTurf. That's definitely AstroTurf now. And you can power out. So for this next corner, the way I had been setting this up is if my right tires are on this curb, I know I'm in perfect position. So as you can see, I kind of drive and the car kind of goes up in the air a little bit. That's how I know to start turning in. This is all easy flat. You can clobber this AstroTurf on the inside and your car will be fine, and you can have a pretty clean line through there. So let's see. So now we get to the next chicane. So what I've been doing was I take it down to third gear. I start braking right about here, just before the 100, because the car gets really unstable if you miss your braking zone with the nature of this corner. And I've spun a couple of times pushing this too far. So if you brake just before the 100, around 110, 115, something in here, that pretty much guarantees that you're going to get through this corner just fine. So get it down to third gear. Clip that apex on the left. You can take as much as you need over there on the right for the AstroTurf. And then this corner is more of a trail braking corner. There's no real definitive braking zone. You just kind of have to feel this one out. So again, let's take a look. I get all the way out here on the AstroTurf, and if you watch my inputs right here on the bottom left, you can see that I kind of just barely touch the brakes and just really steer this car into this corner, and you can just get all the way on this AstroTurf. I actually ended up going on the gravel there a little bit, but that's fine. You don't actually lose any time if you do that. Just, you know, don't start diving into gravel traps. All right, so the next corner is the final chicane. So I've been braking at the 100. It's an uphill braking zone, so the brakes work pretty well here. And for the chicane, I've been trying to avoid the raised part of that curb, and you can kind of hit the raised part of the exit curb, because whether or not you can see it, it's very faint. There is an extra piece of AstroTurf right here on the grass that you can use, so don't really be too concerned about getting on the grass. So you can see that I use it here. My left two tires are definitely on that AstroTurf, and I'm able to correct the car and get it back on the track before I hit any real grass. So let's just watch that one more time. We're going to brake at the 100 board, yeah, pretty much right on it, and you can really stamp on the brakes. So get it to first gear, kind of try to miss that raised part of that curb, and then you can hit the raised part of that curb and just use the AstroTurf if you need it and power on out of there. So the final corner, you want to brake a little earlier than you would normally anticipate, just so you can make sure you get the car in good position to power out as soon as possible. You can see that I power out pretty soon there, pretty early rather, and you can use all of the curbing and AstroTurf on the left side, and that will complete a lap at the Nürburgring GP. So I'm very excited about this race, and once again, like last week, I want to talk about a couple of points during the race to think about. But first, I'm going to show you an unedited, unchanged lap. I'm just going to play it in real time. So enjoy. Okay, so 3 things to watch out for the Nürburgring races this week. Number 1, tire wear is actually not that bad around here. My lap times didn't really suffer at all while I was practicing, so you shouldn't see a significant loss of time because of tire wear, nor should you feel any lack of control because of tire wear. So you should feel pretty good, and yeah, just don't worry about the tire wear that much. Number 2, turn 1. Turn 1 is going to be interesting for the Nürburgring. It always is in sim racing, no matter what sim racing game it is. So watch out for those lunges, and don't be surprised if someone tries to go up your inside of turn 1. It's up to you whether or not to just totally defend or give them space or be respectful. I mean, it's up to you and how you race, but really, if you don't want them to lunge up turn 1, you're really going to have to make it clear that you're going to take that space. Don't half-ass it. Don't leave it in the center of the track and expect them not to go up, because they will. And along with turn 1, of course, watch the pit exit. Pit exit is going to be intense going into turn 1. So the rest of the track really is not that bad, but turn 1 is insane. So watch out for that. And number 3, again, you're going to want to play with your brake bias a little bit. It's a preference thing, and that's something that for years I hadn't messed with while I was a sim racer. So it's something that maybe you need to hear. But yeah, definitely mess with your brake bias, mess with your settings a little bit if your car feels undrivable, because the only way you can go fast in a car is if you're comfortable in the car. So yeah, that about wraps it up. So I wish you guys the best of luck this week for the Nürburgring, and I can't wait to see you guys out on track. So take it easy. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.